Hey, it's Carl Deichler here at Beachbody headquarters for Superstar Diamond Day, and we're celebrating right now Melanie Mitro, who is just on fire in the business. But I also understand that you're building a team, and they might have specific questions that maybe I can help answer. So what would you say is one of the things that perhaps some of the people on your team would like to get more information about?
So I'd say the first new coaches coming into the business, in the first 3 months, those are like the key part of your business. Yeah. So what would you tell a new coach that's just starting, what to expect or how to kind of hang with it for those first few months?
It's like anything. And I think sometimes people get into the business for the first 3 months and they start to think, where's my trophy? Where's my $1,000 a week? And I don't know of anything that's like that that's really going to be a long-term business that's really worth it. You need to look at this like a business. And if you were buying a fast food franchise or going to college or whatever it is, you would expect there to be a process, a learning curve that the outcome is not going to match the input, the amount of effort that you have to put into it. So what I would say is for the first 3 months, and really you could say for the first year, if you're really intent to help a lot of people with this business, which is probably the most important thing, that your goals will be served by helping other people, that you need to look at it as your investment is in time and effort and patience over the course of that first 3 months. And the other thing that I would say is don't try to recreate the wheel. A lot of people think, you know what, that system, that training, that's for everybody else and they're sort of the sheep. So I'm gonna try to end run this whole thing and come up with my own system. We created the pathway because these are best practices. So follow the Coach Basics training. Make sure you're engaged with your team. Having a sense of what the team is about is really, really important. And staying connected. People don't check their back office enough. They don't get on the national wake-up calls. And then they find that they're disconnected so that in 3 months they're like, well, this business really didn't work for me. Well, really what happened is they didn't work the business. And we work really hard to lay the business out in a way that somebody like you, who have had such incredible success with this, you just plugged in, really, from my perspective. Now you plugged in with incredible enthusiasm, but it's very meaningful what you've done. So that's my advice. So what would you say is, for a new coach who's never done anything like this before, what is maybe one of the things that stands in their way from your perspective?
Definitely starts with the fear of the unknown. A lot of it is the fear of failure. And then I'd say confidence, really being confident, especially when a new coach maybe is just starting their transformation and they haven't even completed an entire fitness program, or they're halfway through, but they're really excited about it and they're just afraid of how to approach it.
Well, I think that another way to say that, or what I think is maybe behind that, is a fear of talking to people. What like the greatest fear is public speaking or whatever, and people don't have a complete familiarity with how incredible Shakeology is. The fact that, even if you drink it every day like I do, talking about it is a whole different thing. Also, the idea of convincing somebody that they should join a challenge group or start a fitness program can be intimidating for people. And that, here's the good news, that's the exact wrong way to look at it. So the metaphor I like to use is, you're walking along let's say you're at a mall, okay? And somebody falls, they're getting off the escalator and they fall. You don't hesitate to reach in. Are you okay? Can I help you up? Like, you just don't hesitate. So you go for it, you help them. So I look at this business the same way, that there are over 200 million people in this country overweight or obese, and they've fallen at the bottom of the escalator. Now, you do need to be careful about how you approach it, but instead of thinking about how do I convince somebody, if you're thinking about how can I get to know somebody, to understand their situation a little bit so that I can find the appropriate way to help them. So when you start a conversation with a new person or a friend or a family member or coworker, and you can say, I'm starting a challenge group, I'm gonna do PIO or Insanity Max 30 or 21 Day Fix Extreme or whatever, and they go, well, I'm a member of a gym. How's that working for you? Anyway, you start to probe what have you done to lose weight? It could be a person who's in great shape. You go, boy, how do you stay in such great shape? Do you have a hard time maintaining that? If it's a person who's not in great shape, you say, have you ever tried anything? And then you find out, what have the struggles been? And then you can go, hey, it's interesting. Time seems to be the problem for so many people. Maybe something like T25, which is so short, or maybe they always fail. They're like, I always fail at those things. Well, you know what? If you'd be interested, we're starting a challenge group around this program, 21-Day Fix. That's just 21 days. So if we can put together, 21 days is too long. I've got another idea. How about 3 days, where if we just clean up your eating for 3 days with a 3-day refresh, you might find a little bit of success, 3 to 5 pound weight loss, and then maybe that'll work for you. But the point is that, so you do need to have an awareness, and that's the work, an awareness of the product line. But then the job is not trying to sell it. Once you get the perspective of what needs or frustrations or problems that person has, again, they fell at the bottom of the escalator. Once you find out how they fell down, then you can help them up and help them avoid the problem again. And that's so important, because we don't want to have a company of 1 million salespeople. We want 1 million people helping people achieve their goals to lead healthy, fulfilling lives. That's what makes this powerful. That's what makes this unlike any other network marketing company, I think, in the world. And that's why it's so stable. Because people don't come in and like, I need to make $1,000 a week in the first 2 weeks, or this thing's no good, and when's my car, right? Instead, they come in and go, how can I help some people? And by serving people that way, it creates this foundation and this momentum, and then all of a sudden you find yourself getting emails and notes from people saying, you've completely transformed my life. Help people, don't sell people.
It's awesome. It's awesome. That's what I teach every single day.
And it works. Works for you.
It works, yep.
Superstar Diamond.
It does.
Well done.
It does. Thank you.